Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the HarlequinCoHO Invitational Tournament Round of 8. This is Game 2 and a best of 3 between Nystrom and ProPipe. Nystrom got to choose the map for this game, and it is the map Semois. And because this is Game 2, both players have swapped to their alternate commanders. So let's go ahead and get this game started. Over here on the left-hand side, you will see Nystrom Inf, which is Nystrom's infantry commander, of course. He has got the forward barracks ability, the heroic charge, engineer rifleman, ranger reinforcements, and artillery strike. And you will note right away that his very first engineers have built nothing and are basically making a beeline for this first strategic point. He is very likely going for a forward barracks right here in this building. Let's take a look on the other side of the map now and see ProPipe Blitz. This is ProPipe's Blitzkrieg commander, if you couldn't tell. And ProPipe looks like he's right away building his Wehrmacht quarters and sending the field pioneers off to the left. So kind of a standard opening here. Taking a look right now at ProPipe's abilities, he has infantry pillage, flares, stormtroopers, rocket barrage, and heavy armor support. The 1150 version of that gives you a Tiger and one other vehicle, either an Ostwind or a Stug. So now you can see both players just kind of beginning their standard capping procedures. And right now, here is the forward barracks up by Nystrom. So I'm going to watch forward Nystrom for a little bit, see when he decides to start building things. Nothing new coming out of either building at the moment, just kind of capping around here. And because he spent 300 manpower in getting this up right away. It takes him a moment to get enough manpower to get that first rifleman squad out there, but not too bad as he is now about to be out on the field. And now you will see that it looks like ProPipe blitzes pioneers. At first this alarms me, but he has got squad health by 16%, Panzerfaust ability munitions cost by reduced by 20%, and a 30% boost to Panzerfaust range. But of course he has not produced any more pioneers, so this is definitely not a pioneer strat. He just happens to have a lot of good army items for both his pioneers and his Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers, by the way, have the same munitions cost reduction, same Panzerfaust range reduction, decreased reinforcement cost by 30% and 16% increased health. So in the meantime, the rifleman coming out by Nystrom capping this munitions point, and his second engineer is just kind of sneaking around the map, by the way. Moderate health regeneration. They cap points 20% faster, and they have a 50% increased minesweeper detection radius. That is an awesome ability if you suspect your opponent's going to be using a lot of mines. So rifleman for Nystrom, giving him quick control over the center, and his engineers on the left giving him control over this victory point as well. So right at the start of the game, Nystrom is up 2-0 victory points, and the clock starts ticking for ProPipe Blitz. ProPipe Blitz's troops right now just kind of capping this position here. You can see, getting a kill on these engineers heading across the bridge right now. Those engineers were in exposed terrain while they were heading across that bridge, and therefore had no cover from those shots. Looks like a second rifleman squad now on the field here for Nystrom Inf. Two rifleman squads just kind of prowling around here through the center. Looks like this rifleman squad is definitely gunning for these Volksgrenadiers across the river. So Volksgrenadiers just about done capping this field point, and now the fighting begins. Here we have our first little skirmish at the beginning here. We're going to see if either of these guys is going to be able to get in this building on time. It looks like maybe Nystrom is. Yes. No, it looks like they're just firing it out across each other. Usually people rush to try and get into this building and have cover, but no, it looks like Nystrom is content just to have close range, and these riflemen do a lot of damage up close and personal, and now looks like they've scared away the rest of those guys and are going to retreat. Two casualties for these Volksgrenadiers. You can see Fatherland HMG team now in the field, level 5 for ProPipe, and that was enough to send these guys running. They did not want to get trapped in that cross field of fire there. Look how fast Fatherland HMG team moves in friendly territory. You can see now that they're in unfriendly territory, they slow back down, but just going to go ahead and set up across the river anyways, getting a nice little bead on these riflemen. These riflemen fully aware of that and just barely avoiding getting suppressed there. No, they get suppressed right as they get to the bridge, and I think they are now out of the line of sight here. So Fatherland HMG team, if you are not aware, basically all of the buffs that it has are based on being in friendly territory or not. They move faster, longer range, and that sort of thing. These riflemen here are trying to decide if they want to go for a swim. There's a nice looking canoe here for them, but no, it looks like they are instead going to turn back around and try and cap this fuel point. Fatherland HMG team now setting up, and it looks like, I'm going to rotate the camera a little bit, they do have a line of sight on these riflemen, and these riflemen now just kind of getting suppressed a little bit, going to have to give up and picking that. Oh, taking two casualties This fire from these guns is just so amazing, suppressing straight through the building. They don't care about cover or anything like that. And the riflemen now seeing these Pioneers show up are going to have to go ahead and retreat across this bridge. So very, very wounded 4 riflemen there. And the Pioneers, in the meantime, just kind of heading across the river, going to see if they can't do some passive-aggressive capping on the other side. Meanwhile, we do have quick Flame Engineers here by Nystrom Inf. These Flame Engineers just kind of prowling around, nothing fancy going on at the moment, and a ton of riflemen. So it looks like we do have 3 squads of riflemen and 2 engineers, definitely going for a 4 rifleman opening, but it looks like no, he went ahead and bought a support center as well. Fatherland HMG team in the center mixed up with these close combat Volksgrenadiers. ProPipe just recently built them as well, getting heavily suppressed in the center, trying his best to crawl back into this forward barracks, and yes, getting a little bit of healing while he gets in there as well. And now just kind of gonna have to wait it out. This Fatherland HMG team has got massive range, and you can see here the rest of the Volksgrenadiers just capping this position. So that's only going to get worse as they get more of this territory here. Close combat Volksgrenadiers now looks like they're advancing on this building here. They are of course equipped with those MP40 guns that are really good at close combat. Meanwhile, we do have the Pioneers here on the south side, again doing exactly what we suspected, and a little bit of backcapping going on for Nystrom as well, but it looks like he was cut off by these Volksgrenadiers and Field Pioneers, who are now going to reclaim this territory and send him running home. So you can see how effective taking cover in buildings is against this fire. Looks like Nystrom is just now starting to take some casualties in either one of these buildings. 2 casualties there so far. But it really just kind of stalls things out and prevents your opponent from advancing, because they'd have to advance under fire if they wanted to cap that center. So I'm going to go ahead now and switch on over to ProPipe and take a look and see if ProPipe is going to be using any abilities anytime soon. He's just about to hit level 1. At level 1, he will have access to infantry pillage only. Meanwhile, back at his base, it looks like nothing else has been built. And we'll take a look around the map and see what else is going on here. You can see, finding a landmine directly in the face, taking out that entire Field Pioneer squad. It looks like they had just laid a crippling trap there and unfortunately found one of Nystrom's mines. So always a good idea when you advance deep into enemy territory to lay mines, expecting them to advance out across it again later. Meanwhile, the firing has now turned on this church. This church has really solid cover, as you can imagine, and units in there tend to stay alive for quite a while. Fatherland HMG team now looks like he's simply repositioning, perhaps suspecting that there's a flank coming across the river. He might have caught a look at that just a little bit. And the rest of the riflemen just kind of noodling around here for the moment. So not too much going on, just a lot of defensive play by both players. Kind of a common theme that I would expect to see against these sort of really tough high-level players is that they're cautious. They do not want to risk all. This is a tournament. They know that there is potentially $250 at stake, as well as some other prizes provided by ZenMagnets.com, by the way. Please feel free to check them out if you do enjoy these replays. But as a result of that, you can tell that they're just being very cautious and deliberate with all of their moves. Here we go. We have, it looks like infantry pillage is now activated for ProPipe. ProPipe moving on in and trying his best to do some damage here. Everybody so far is behind heavy cover, and no, taking some casualties on his own. This squad of Volksgrenadiers is really weak, and we do have a survival sniper out there for Nystrom Inf. Survival snipers can do all sorts of stuff. They can sprint while cloaked, and just a lot of cool abilities there. Harder to hit, stuff like that. Now it looks like, oh, check that out, getting a little bit of munitions out of that, because he does, of course, have infantry pillage active, and now taking too many casualties in exposed terrain here, gonna have to retreat. Fatherland HMG team, though, in a weird little flanking position up top there. And meanwhile, it looks like Nystrom Inf has kind of gained control over the middle once again. Down here on the south, you can see his engineers here just having to recap this passive-aggressively capped stuff. And meanwhile, the Volksgrenadiers just trying their best to disconnect this territory. As you can see, by grabbing this little piece of terrain here, he is, of course, going to cut off that victory point. So, in the meantime, Survival Sniper now just kind of hanging out. I think he probably took a shot up there. 3 kills for that Survival Sniper, and I think I just heard in my headphones, yes, we do have a sniper on the field now for ProPipe Blitz as well. So Sniper and Fatherland HMG team now advancing towards the center. We are likely going to be seeing some counter sniper action going on here. Fatherland HMG team setting up here. This is a nice little defensive place to hang out. Defending this position. This strategic point is really annoying. If you cap it, it basically cuts your territory in half if you've extended out beyond that. Meanwhile, still capping points down here. And at the time, it looks like ProPipe is kind of trapped in his base. It doesn't quite look like it by looking at the mini-map, but you can tell that really, really strong central presence here for Nystrom, whereas ProPipe is just kind of forced to try and get out of his base. He does have a lot of units, though. He definitely has a couple of squads of Volks Grenadiers, heavy machine gun team, and the close combat Volks. So hopefully he'll get something done there. And now you can see he skipped and went right up to Sturm Armory, so likely he is going for either a fast anti-tank gun or a fast Puma. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look down here at Nystrom Inf, and you can see that he has already finished where is it? There it is, his supply yard, and has gone straight into a Greyhound armored car. Greyhound armored car, by the way, with 10% increased weapon damage, 10% rate of fire, and 16% health. He's most certainly getting armored skirts and then a 50 caliber machine gun for that. On the meantime, close combat Volks now, moving on out. I want to take a look and see what level Nystrom Inf is. So level 1 for ProPipe, and we do have level 2 here for Nystrom. So Nystrom's Greyhound is now just kind of charging out across the field. We'll have to see if he's going to try and take early game advantage of that or not. Moving out here, looking, and I do not see anything being produced. There we go. Something being produced right now for ProPipe, and it looks like it is a Puma's armored car. Going to jump back to Nystrom's point of view for the time being, just to keep the mini-map the same color for at least most of the time. We've got the Greyhound armored car now getting a single kill on these Volk Grenadiers, forcing them to retreat and just kind of holding onto this territory. And now we get to see, is he going to go for it? Does he feel like he needs to charge the base, or is he going to be cautious and just kind of back off and hold on to what he's got? And looks like he's driving up a little further, and no, he's turning around. So perhaps Nystrom has, oh, check this out. Yes, he is dropping a big fat Greyhound mine right on top of that little crippling trap that he didn't even know was there. That's kind of cool. Close combat Volks Grenadiers in the meantime are just trying to recap this little island. You can see this is basically just like a tiny little island. It is connected on 3 points, but it's more or less isolated. And now we've got a sniper moving around in the center, and check that out. Oh, we have a flare, and that definitely looks to me like the body of a sniper. You can see the scope on that rifle. Yes, that is a Springfield rifle with a scope, and definitely it looks like ProPipe Blitz baited out that sniper and flared it and took it out with his own sniper. So a little bit of counter sniper action going here. I'm curious to see, and yes, we do have another sniper on the way from Nystrom Infantry. Nystrom Inf is infantry commander. It's always tough. Do I want to say infantry or inf? I don't know. I'll say inf.